Hello, hello, hello. It is Saturday, March the 27th, and it is almost 8 a.m. I haven't done any live videos lately. I'll try to do one. Well, I have to do one this weekend. It's for Sunday Hop, and the theme is going to be mini books, I believe. And I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that one since I'm not that into book binding and all that stuff. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. Um, but I'm tired. I signed up for COVID on the Virginia.gov website. I haven't heard anything yet. I tried using the CVS pharmacy website, but I don't understand it. And I'm a pretty tech savvy person, but I don't know if there's no appointments available or there's no way to sign up for new appointments. I just don't see anything that link me to somewhere to fill out a form to apply for the COVID shot with the CVS. So yeah, um, whatever. My husband got his shot with the VA yesterday, and not yesterday. Day before yesterday? Day before yesterday. And so last night he went to bed. He had a fever and chills and all that stuff. So yeah. So first I'm gonna show you guys what I've been working on. Uh, and then I have some acquisitions, and then I'll show you. Well, I'll show you my crochet first. And I had some spinning. I have to find it. Yeah, this is it. I'll show you my spinning first because I only got a little bit of that. So I had to renew my military ID for a dependent. My husband retired. I didn't retire. I got out in 2006. And yeah, counter Navy. So I had to go, and I didn't think or know to go and do an appointment where you would get a time slot where there's like a group of 5 or 6 appointments in a slot. But I know that the next time to sign up for the time slot. We got there at like 8:50 in the morning, and we got there wasn't that much of a line. It might be like 6 people ahead of us, but the time slot people take precedence. So even if you got there at 8:50, as the day progressed, anybody who had a time slot appointment got jumped in the line and ahead of you, no matter how long you've been standing there. So I wasn't seen until I think they called us back at like, we got back, it was like noon. We had already been in line for like almost 4 hours. So it was like after almost 1 o'clock when they called us back to finally get my ID. So I took some little scraps of fiber that my granddaughter had pulled off of some roving with me to spin. I figured, and so I spun all this in like the first 45 minutes of just standing there. I didn't think I would need it, or I would have took a whole bump with me, a whole 4 ounces of fiber with me to spin, and I would have just stood there and spun the whole time. But I did have some yarn with me, and so I started crocheting. At first I was going to make a hat, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to make a hat. So I made this little bag for my granddaughter, and she puts her, and I made like little handles and everything. Everybody thought I was crocheting a hat. Well, some people thought I was knitting a hat. I had to explain the difference between crochet and knitting to them. And but I'm like, no, it's a bag. It's too big to be a hat. I mean, it's way too big to be a hat. So I made this little bag for her, and she throws her doll babies in there, and she totes them around. And or she puts toys in there, or she puts stuff she's trying to hide from me in there. She's very good at sneaking and taking stuff off my desk, and then trying to hide it from me, so she can play with it. So I made that bag for her. And then and that was the last of the bulky yarn that Pam gave me. So now I'm probably gonna do a live video tonight or tomorrow, and I'm just gonna be sewing in ends and just talking, more than likely. Well, let's see how that works, because I got to sew the ends on all those hats I made. So yeah, so this was the last of that bulky yarn that Pam gave me for donations. So then this was the last hat, and it is so pretty. This is a real pretty color. It was called Wheat, and it does make you think of a wheat field that's like golden color, that right before it like darkens and dries out all the way, that light golden color. You can see it good right here. But yeah, it was I did a cow with a sticker, nobody but the bee. So I did a matching cow to go with this hat, and pom pom. And this will go into the Christmas gift bin. And then the last thing I made was I made a virus shawl, and I don't know how many of these things I made. I've made some. I didn't get pictures of them because it's like I gave it away as soon as I finished it, like if I was traveling or something. But yeah, so I made a virus shawl using some Premier yarn that I had gotten last year, right before and I got paint on my hands from painting last night. I couldn't get it all off. It's acrylic, so it don't want to come off yet. AC Moore, right before AC Moore closed down, I bought like 4 skeins, 2 in this red, and I think I got 2 in another color. I don't know if I still have it or not, but so I made this virus shawl, and it's going to be going to a friend, and I hope they like it. I mean, it's not blocked out, because it'll be a lot, once it's blocked. I mean, I have a long wingspan, and I wish I could show you guys, but I do not feel like being on camera today, like my face. So my face is a little puffy this morning. Alright, so that was all of the crochet and knitting that I've done, and spinning that I've done. So now I'm going to show you guys my acquisitions. So we'll start with my yarn acquisitions. Alright, so we went to Michael's, and they were having a sale, buy one get one free. So this is not part of that. Okay, like I say, my grandbaby likes yarn, and I call her my baby. Her mama don't like that, but so and I am missing a skein. So what did she do with it? Oh, I tell you, that little girl makes your day. She does so much stuff that she doesn't need to be doing. Miss my grandma's stuff. Oh, B, where'd you put it? Okay. I am missing a purple stripe. I believe it's purple stripe. Little girl, I tell you. Alright, so like I said, they were having a buy one get one free, and so I got the purple. These two purples have purples that go together, and then I got this with the orange. And so I only bought the 4 things of yarn. I don't do large yarn purchases. I only get, like, if I see a couple of new yarns that I'm interested in, I'll get them. And that's for like small projects. So those were the 4 skeins of yarn that I got, and they've stepped up their economy yarn. It's very soft, very, very soft. So I got those, and then I got some gesso, acrylic gesso, and then I got some golden matte medium. My daughter had coupons for Michael's, and so I got these from there, and I got this Mod Podge. I got this. I've shown this to you guys before, I think, but yeah. So I have ventured into the mixed media land. I got the small ones in case I don't like using it or what I'm doing. I can always give it to my daughter for her canvases and stuff. So yeah. So that is, oh yeah, and I got Amazon, of course. So for Amazon, I got this case to put all that stuff that was the pencils, and these are like the Prismacolor Scholars that I got when I was freaking in 2003, when I was working on my bachelor's degree. I got my bachelor's degree. But one of the things we had to do some art projects where we had to do some design work and stuff. And so we had to have these Prisma Scholars. So everybody's work would be consistent. If I'd known what I know now, I would have bought me some polychromos at the same time. But so I put all my pencils that were in small cardboard boxes and stuff in this case. And like these pencils up here are all from Sketch Box. These are Sketch Box right here. These are some frames that I got from the dollar store. This is Faber Castell's Colors of the World. No, it has some colors, skin tone colors, and they're like the frames that they're separated. See, they're like this. You got the color on each half of the stick. Skin tones, and it's okay. It's an okay set. Color pencils, and the color goes down very smoothly. It was the 24 set plus these 3 pencils, which are technically 6 pencils because they're split in half. So they color nicely. And then these are the Prismacolor Scholars, and then this is the Prismacolor Very Thins. I've had these several years, never used them. This one isn't sharpened right. Okay, so now I got a better little point. And so yeah, so I'm gonna be doing some projects with these to use these. I have coloring books Dee Dee sent me, and I have a couple coloring books that I purchased. I got like 4 coloring books, nice coloring books that I purchased, including the ones I showed you guys on the last video I did. And so, these were some of the Sketchbox pens that they sent, and This is one of the Sketchbox pens too, but it's ink, and I've already opened it, so I have it sitting up because I don't want it to leak, risk it leaking on anything. So I keep it over here standing up, and I've used it in because it's a brush pen, and it's also, you can move it around before it dries with water. So yeah, so Sketchbox. Then these are the rest of the Prismacolor very thins right here on this side of the box. I'm trying not to spill my water. I have to go, it's probably a sharpener, to go get that from back there in a little while. So yeah, so there's some more Prismas right here. This is some more of the Sketchbox pens over here. They got some Pitt pens, artist pens, the Fudino Suki Saki, however you say it, Tech Liner pen. What's this in my? Oh yeah, this is the Sketchbox cheap pen. They are not, they water. They are not waterproof once it dries. Just so you know, in case you have this pen. And it says Sketchbox signature. One would think the signature pen would be permanent waterproof, but it's not. And then these were some more of the Sketchbox pens. These are my refills for my Sharpie that I've had for several years. And I still haven't had to use one of the refills. So it's this Sharpie right here. And that's it. It's empty on this side over here. So I got room to put another set of pens if I wanted to. But the other pens are in nice tins. They weren't in cardboard. So I'm not going to bother those. I think the only one that's in cardboard is my introductory set of Polychromos, the 10 pencils. And I just left it in the cardboard. I didn't want to put it in here because then I'll probably not use it as much. So yeah, so I put those in there. And of course I have several tins of other pencils, some oil pencils, other pencils that I wanted to try. So now I'm going to show you. So my daughter needed Prismacolors when she was in school, in high school. That's how old this set is. And there's several sets several pencils missing that I'm going to have to order off of Blick to finish this set again. Whereas this set, she got it off of eBay or something. I mean, yeah. And it's the complete set. I added a white to it, and I added a black. I need to buy some more whites and blacks. I guess if we go to Jerry's, I can see if they have the single pencils, and I can go down my list I made of pencils I need. But this tin has all of the pencils in there, the 24 pencils in there. And they have the French version of the words up there as well. But this one is not closing good because I have extras. I found extra pencils, which means that that set she got off of eBay, it probably had those extra pencils in it. And as you can see, I have slots that are missing. I have slots where the pencils are short. Those are the ones that I'm going to be ordering the more pencils for. So I have about 15 pencils that I have to order. These are extras, or I couldn't order it so short that I can't see the number on it. And yeah, so I can't see the number on this one from the person that sharpened it from the information side instead of from this side. And so yeah, and I didn't see this color in the other set, so I couldn't match it up with colors from that set. And that's just a colors blender that I sat in there. I guess I can sit it right there. But yeah, this is like a blue with some hints of violet in it. So I need to get a little container for these extras because I don't want to give these to B. She has her own little bag of cheap pencils. So my daughter asked, and she don't use them. I told her, I said, can I have them? And so I used them last night and organized them last night. And these are actually watercolor pencils that was inside the box with the 24 Prismacolors. So these are Kimberly watercolors from Jones. And so these two are the same color. So this one and this one is the same. So someone so I just put them all in this tin here and put that on top of it to organize that. Okay, so yeah, I've been doing a lot of organizing, guys. A lot of organizing. Oh yeah, that was one of my acquisitions too. This pencil sharpener. It is I will have to look on my Amazon thing to tell you what it is, but it works so good with my sharpening my coloring pencils. Oh my god, I love it. Well, sharpening any pencil really, I love it. I have a manual one as well in the event that my battery dies or something, and this works really good too. So I've also been playing World of Warcraft again, and so my tank is getting a rest bonus. I haven't been playing Shadowlands, even though I have the expansion. I don't like the expansion. I don't like what they did. After all them hours and work you put into a character, and then to have it busted down to, even though I know they're changing the gameplay and whatnot, I don't think that was right. If anything, all your characters that you had maxed out, they should have let them be maxed out in the new version of the game. If they're gonna bust them down to the max level, because that's a lot of hours. So I'm like, I've been playing classic because I didn't like the way that WoW was going with the retail. So I've been playing classic. I have the retail version of classic. I have all the expansions for WoW. The only one I don't have the box, like the actual physical box set for, is no, I got the Pandora box set. I don't have the one for Shadowlands. I didn't get the box set for Shadowlands, and I don't think I got the box set for Cataclysm. I think it was digital as well. But yeah, it is what it is. So art, I've been drawing, like just doodling. I call my drawing doodling because everything, I'm self-taught. I've only had 2 art classes, and that was as an adult here in Virginia at the Art Center. It's the letter D apostrophe art and center here in Norfolk, Virginia. And I took a cartoon class that they had, and I took a basic drawing class, and I took that class twice. The first time I finished the class and didn't do anything. The second time we had our house fire in the middle of the class, and I couldn't finish the class, and then work and all kinds of stuff, so I never went back to finish the class. And the ladies in that class were just so wonderful. They bought me new art supplies, sketch supplies, sketchbook stuff that they weren't going to use or using, and they gave it to me for to help replace some of the stuff that I lost in the house fire, because I had, part of my routine was sitting my sketch pads and stuff on top of the deep freezer but not the deep freezer, on top of the counter. And I'm thinking of where the deep freezer is now. We used to be the refrigerator and stove used to be over there, and then there was a counter. And I used to sit it on the counter right there because it would be easy for me to just grab it and go out the door with it. And so a lot of that was destroyed, burned beyond recognition, crisp ashes. So they gave me a lot of art pencils, the Conte, little things like that to use to replace the stuff that I lost. And but I never got to get back to that class. And that class was fun because some of the ladies were in the first sketch class I did at the art center, and so it was like we were becoming friends, you know. And it's something that always happens. And I always get depressed and go back into a shell where I don't want to be around people. I keep to myself a lot, and which is not healthy, but that's just I'm an ostrich. I stick my head back in the sand, or the turtle. I snap back down into my shell. And so yeah, so I want to try and get back over there and start going to taking classes again. So this was with the Prismacolor coal erase pencil in blue. I wanted to try and do a study in blue. My eyes, as you can see, my eyes are still wonky, but they're better than what they've been. This eye is slightly tilted this way too much. The nose is wonky. I don't know what they call that piece, but I came over too far with that. And the lips are wonky, so it's a whole wonky face, but nobody is perfect. And then I was just drawing some circles and triangles and squares. Oh my. And then I was just playing around doodling while I was on the phone with for a consultation for my health. I was doing this claw. It's supposed to be holding an apple, but it looks more like a ball. Yeah. So this book is finished, and when I finish this book, I will do a flip through of the entire book. And I took all my sketch box, like, look, this is a sticker of one of my daughter's stickers from her store, but I took all the sketch box stickers and I stuck them onto sketchbooks. So this book is where am I at in here? I'm at a little over the halfway point with this sketchbook. So I'll be working in it from now on, now that this one is finished. So this one will be going on to the bookshelf. So we're going to do our flip through. Remember, I used this was that stone paper, and I used it for my daughter's Wisptober prompts. So it was started October of 2020, and I finished it last night, so of March 27, 2021. So yeah. So the only page I didn't do was this one because this stuff actually rubbed off over there. I mean, I could do something over there, but so this was the first page. Let me see if so you guys can see. Hopefully you've been able to see everything on camera. I wasn't checking to see if anything was off camera. So this was bell jar prompt, thorns. This was forest. I did that on a little artist trading card. It was birch trees here, and you got some trees in the background. I really like the way that came out, and that was using some of the black and white, the black and gray pens from the sketch box. Then this was, I didn't write the prompt down. Oh, thorns. This is the necklace. Okay, yeah, forest. And this was thorns. This was the second thorns, I think. I'm pretty sure this is thorns because of the necklace. Let me see what was number. What was out there? Yeah, shows you how much I was paying attention to what I was doing. Yeah, 2 is bell jar, 3 is thorns, and 4 is forest. So thorns, forest, and then this was another thorns that I did. So let me write that up there. Alright. Oh yeah, I did have another acquisition. They had the buy one get one free for most of their Strathmore paper and whatnot was on sale. So I got this colored pencil pad. The paper is very light too. I used some of it last night, a sheet of it last night, and I really like the way it did with the colored pencils. So this one I didn't color. This one was called Potions, and so for me the potions was different types of alcohol, the grapes of wrath. And then this one was brew, so I did a witch's brew, and I used those children's silky crayons for this one, and they're okay. This one was divination, and so I used my stamp for like a coin, and then you got like what do you call those cards? You know what I'm talking about. The tea bag, dominoes, and bones. My mind ain't working too well this morning. It's like boom. You know what I'm talking about. And the word is gonna just pop up in my head in a minute. And so this one was amulet. This one was the moon. I really like this drawing. Really like how that one turned out. And then that one was candle. And I used those silky crayons again. But that's when I was like, I don't like these crayons because it smears. Even and if you spray it, because they're water soluble, then it smears. So I really didn't like, and if you try to put something on top of it, it smears. So yeah, so that was when I was like And this was with some of the markers from Sketchbox. So I was trying to use my Sketchbox stuff. And then this prompt was crystal, and this was with some of the colored pencils from the Sketchbox kit. And I think those turned out pretty good. And then that one was Ghost Love. So of course, me being an Atari kid, I had some fun with that. And then this was Messenger. So I thought about the AOL Messenger, and hooked them up with the Mercury stuff. That one was Old Book, so this is Moby Dick. This one was Garden, so I did a pen drawing of a garden. This was a cauldron, which, yeah. And this was a moth, and my favorite moth is the Luna moth. I could have did better on it, but I was rushing trying to get it done because it was like, you know, that night. And then this one was Snake. And then this was day 20, which was herbs. So I got some bush sage, some cilantro, some lemongrass. Yeah. And then this one was Fate. So it's Fate spinning on a drop spindle. This is the most horrible drawing I've ever done lately, I think. And this was Spirit and Galaxy together. So this is 23 and 24. And then this one was Cage, so Nicolas Cage. It kind of looks like him. And then this was a monster, so that's a Swamp Thing. And then this one was Feathers, and so I did these feathers with some Zentangles on them. And then this was the Frog, day 29 Frog, and day 30 and day 31. Oh, day 20, 29. Day 29, day 30, and day 31. So day 29 was the pumpkin. Day 30 was the frog. He's inside the pumpkin. Day 31 was the poison apple. And this, so this was me trying to use those crayons again. And yeah, you can see it. And this is some watercolor paper I was trying to do mixed media on. So technically this is like my first mixed media project. It has some stuff from Jersey Crafter on it. It has some stuff from D.D. Willingham on it. Some embellishments and stuff. So it's okay. And then this was the second time I tried to do mixed media, and I was like, this was a stamp that Mary Artier did, and I cut it off the envelope and I put it on this tree branch that I drew. And then this is some stuff from Dee, and I put some little odds and ends in there, little leaves from some of the stuff that Jersey and Dee sent. And you got the moon up there. The moon didn't come out as good as my other moon, but it's okay. And it's some washi tape. And then this was out of one of my knitting books. This card my friend Barb sent me up in Philly. This was some more stuff that was in the kit that Dee sent. And that's another page. I guess I could go and do something on these blank pages so I would really feel like it's finished. I was playing with some of the shimmery watercolors that I have to see what they would kind of look like. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see some of that shine. I was just playing around and scribbling with these pens right here. And then this was me playing with some of my watercolors. I should have wrote down which watercolors I used on this, but basically I just wet the paper. And this stone paper does pretty good. It doesn't soak through. And the watercolor, see how vibrant that is? And it just sits there on the paper and dries like that. And so I did this one, and I started picking out shapes that I saw in this one. This one looked like a boat. It's like some boats. So I'll call that the crossing of the Delaware. That's what it made me think of. Yeah. And then this was some more watercolor. And then I just pulling the paint with the end of a brush. I was pulling the paint. Tarot cards. That's the word I was looking for. Tarot cards. My little alien and her shiny metallic spaceship. I don't know if you guys can see that. I was playing around with the metallic crayons, my Derwent metallics, and then I was trying to do clouds with the watercolors, and that was a fail. So then I also glued in my swatches out of the, because I did them on my paper for my Zentangling, and I didn't like it, so I just glued them in here just to get them out of that Zentangle book. It was driving me nuts. I don't know why I did it to start with when I have watercolor paper that I could have used. But the colors showed up pretty good on this. But it did like warp and buckle a little bit. And then this was these were like, I was just like cleaning off the brush or trying a color to see what it would look like. And so this was the Phoenix, which look a lot like the Cotman watercolors. I have a couple Cotman samples that I need to put somewhere. I guess I could put them on the paper and glue them on over here. And these were the camels, and these camel watercolors look a lot better than these Phoenix ones. Yeah. So then this was a Faber Castell Gold Faber 48 count pencils. These pencils were smooth for me, although they didn't seem to be as pigmented as I expected them to be from just looking at, when you look at the tips. I didn't do a water test on this yet, but we can do that right now, because of late some manufacturers, they've moved their stuff over to China, and one of the problems people are finding is that their, yeah, so see the color is moving, their pigment is moving. on some of their wax pencils. So it's not moving much. That one moved. That might be the ink from the pen. So I think it's the pen. The color isn't moving, but the pen is. So this was a blob where it's just like I used it to soak up some paint that was on a picture I was working on. Like this, I just dragged it over this, and I just sat it down, and it dried, and I hadn't even paid any mind, and the baby had it, and I looked at it, and I said, oh, these look like faces up there. So I outlined the faces. So there's this face. I mean, you got the nose, the lips, the chin, like my little sea girl, and then there was this guy's face behind it, and then there was like a chin and mouth up here. So I thought it was pretty cool. That came out of just dragging a card across some random paint. This is why I was checking the color of some of those Sketchbox pens. This was a Black Widow skin tones, the dark tones. I don't have the light one, and I don't want to get it because this one is so disappointing. Oh, I got water on it. See what I'm talking about? And this ink, it shouldn't have run, because this was the ink from the Sketchbox Premier black pencil. It shouldn't have been water soluble, but it is. Makes me wonder when those companies order these things and with their name brand on them, do they test them before they start selling them to people? So, but these skin tones, like midnight black, I ain't never seen a person this color in my life. Never. This cinnamon, I've never seen a cinnamon colored person. I've seen makeup that looked like that color, but I've never seen a person's actual skin tone. The same thing, the red skin tones were just, they're not skin tones at all. Not for a human being. The same thing with the yellow skin tones. These are not skin tones I've ever seen on anybody. The gray, I've never seen a gray person in my lifetime. This washed purple, I've never seen someone with purple skin tones that color. None of these skin tones. This was a waste of my money, that skin tone set. I blame people who gave it good reviews, because obviously you haven't been around a lot of people of color in your lifetime if you think these are good colors for skin tones. So these are the Derwent Light Fast pencils, and I didn't do the water test on those. Let's see what happens. And it didn't move. So it did pick up a little color, but I was like rubbing hard to get that color to pick up. So you just have to be careful with and this was a set of 36 pencils, and I didn't think the colors in that set were very, I thought it could have been a better selection. Like all these blacks and grays, like this black, two blacks, a cloud gray, warm gray, mist gray. I felt like these, and this chocolate doesn't look like chocolate, it's like a gray brown. This sepia is closer to a chocolate than the chocolate is, if in my opinion. Milk chocolate anyway. Maybe they thought it was like a dark chocolate, but it's too gray to be a chocolate. But yeah, I felt like they could have had a better color selection with the light fast pencils. Now this was a Crayola coloring pencils, Color the World. And then this was the Derwent Color Soft, and I'm pretty sure these Color Softs will, and these are older. So yeah, the color moves a little bit, but not a lot. And that red moved a lot. So those colors, and I think on their Derwent pencils it will have a little brush on it when it's a water soluble. So be wary of what you're buying from Derwent, because some of their wax based pencils are water soluble, and there is a brush on the pencil. So read the descriptions. So this was I found this tin in my knitting stuff. This was my Prismacolor set of 12. I probably got it from Jerry's years ago, but it hadn't been used. And color doesn't move on these. And if I got it from Jerry's, just before they moved to their new location. So this set is probably 7 or 8 years old. I wouldn't put it past. Alright, and so then this was Mark Art 48 colors, and their colors were more vibrant as compared to the Derwent Light Fast ones. And I found the Derwent Light Fast box when I found those over there in my. But look at that! Look how that color. These could be watercolors. The color. Look how that color just melts. See? That's why I think some of those pencils are mislabeled. I think they were actual watercolor pencils that they got the formula wrong on, and they just repackaged them, because this moves a lot like a watercolor pencil. And so those pencils, those are the Mark Art 48 colors, so those pencils are water soluble. I mean, you could work, if it was on watercolor paper, you could probably work this until it dissolves almost all the way. But look at that. So yeah, so these are water soluble. These are the Derwent charcoal tinted, and they are water soluble. And these are the Derwent graphic tints, and they are water soluble. Like I said, Derwent puts a little brush on their pens. See, so y'all can see. See, that's how water soluble these bad boys are. Look at that. And so the graphic tints have more color in them, have a better variety, and the colors show up better when you wet it than the where is it at? Where's the other one I want to show? Where's the other one I have? The charcoal one. Oh yeah, because I covered them up with the fingernail polish so that they wouldn't move. Because I didn't have any matte medium at the time, so I took fingernail polish. Here it is, the charcoal tinted ones. So I took fingernail polish and put over the top of them in case it got wet from me and my other projects. But the colors don't show up as well to me with the graphite tint, with the charcoal tinted ones, as opposed to this. I think like for the charcoal tinted ones, they should have taken a white charcoal for all but the darkest ones for the colors that they were adding. So they should have took a white charcoal and had a tint of these versions of these, as well as the dark version of these. I think that would have been better. Alright. I'm trying to move it along, guys. Wow, I've been talking for 49 minutes. Ain't nobody gonna watch this video. And so then this is my peacock with some of my shimmering watercolors. And then this was because I had too much paint on the brush, so I was just doodling. And then I took my watercolor metallic pens, which are water soluble. These pens were water soluble. I don't know if they're re-wet, but you can move it around when you first put it up there. So it's not moving now, but the metallic isn't moving, but the watercolor is moving. So these were the water soluble metallics that while they're wet you can move them around, but when they dry they didn't move so much. Like this was like right after I put it on the paper, I can move it some. But that's when I saw that those pens, like this was the Kuretake L54-10. It's a water soluble black pen. The Amazon Basic pen, it runs. This is a Prismacolor Premier pen. It runs. Yeah. So then this was a Derwent metallic water soluble. They're water soluble, as you can see. But the pen I used was water soluble as well, but it wasn't supposed to be a permanent pen, permanent ink. That Prismacolor pen is supposed to be permanent ink. And so this was me playing around with a face, just using this is the is water soluble oil pastel. And so I was playing around with those, doing this face, and it turned out better than what I was expecting. I did draw in the eyes, like sketched in the eyes and stuff, but it turned out better than what I was expecting, just playing around trying to do shadows on the face, the contouring and stuff. Alright, so then that was me just, what was that? Oh, playing tic-tac-toe against myself. I was on the phone again with my daughter. She doesn't listen to me. She doesn't listen. But hey, it's alright. They gave me a consult for an endocrinologist again. Hopefully it won't be the one that he only has office hours, banker's hours, from 9 till 4. He don't take appointments after 5. He don't have weekend appointments. He don't have appointments before 8 o'clock, before 9 o'clock. So yeah, so I always have to use my PTO to go to his doctor appointments, which is why I want to be seen at the base, because this way I could make an appointment early in the morning or later in the afternoon and have a time to get to that appointment from work, not miss work. She don't seem to understand that people need to work. But yeah, so she gave me a consult for another endocrinologist, so we'll see how that works out. So these were the Crayola colored pencils, Colors of the World. Again, this time I wrote the color down. I'm going to re-swatch these in my color pencil little notebook that I got. This was the Colors of the World Super Tip set. I don't know. I didn't try re-wetting these. And let's try this one. Oh, don't re-wet them. I mean, it re-wets, but the color is not the color that was on. It was an extra deep golden, and it had dried into like a greenish color. But when you re-wet it, it goes back to its brown color. I don't know if it's this paper, or what. So yeah. So you can paint from that. You can just dip your pen in there and just paint from that. You can see like the green undertones in that marker, but wet, it reconstitutes back to its original color, which is weird. That's kind of weird, ain't it? Yeah. See, like this one, just deep rose, the color separated. The deep gold and the color separated. And there's a color, like this paper, the water doesn't go through to the other side. So let me see what happens with this deep golden. So yeah, this is well, it's a super tip, so it's supposed to be able to wash it. You know, if kids get it on stuff they ain't supposed to get it on, you're supposed to be able to wash it off. But I don't think those colors should separate like that when it's drying, like, you know, the green undertones come to the top. That's weird. Or maybe some of this blue from over there got on my colors over here, and yellow, you know, and that changed the colors. That's a possibility as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit this on top of that. And then this was Superior Watercolor colored flip cards. I bought these things a long time ago when I first wanted to try watercolors. That might be what failed. No, here they are. So that was these right here. I got these off Amazon probably four or 5 years ago. They've just been sitting in the drawer. See how the little mat used to be white and it's aged. It's yellowed with age. So I swatched them out and I was surprised at how vibrant the colors were. These colors look a lot like the colors that we got, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's only 18 colors in it, including a white. But once again, a pen that was supposed to be a permanent pen isn't a permanent pen. And so the waterproof Faber Castell pen did better, was waterproof. And but you have to wait for it to dry. And this ink will react. Like I drew these boxes using the Prismacolor. So their ink will react with the Prismacolor ink, and then it did get a little messy where it touched. But it could just be the Prismacolor. Now, this looks a lot like the Camel watercolor swatch. See how vibrant the camels are? And these colors made me think a lot about the camels, how vibrant the camels are. And it's really nice. This was nice to work with. I don't know the light fastness and stuff because I do not speak Chinese. I think it's Chinese. They should have had an English version of their little card, because most of the people buying this stuff is English speaking people. Okay. And so this was my Shamrock girl with her light bulb head, her turnip head, well, turnip head, her turnip turban. So that was on March the 20th. And then this was this girl I drew random. Still practicing, trying to get my proportions. The eyes are still, I don't know if it's me. I don't know if I needed to get one of my little thing and tip my paper up like this when I'm sketching. I'm not sure. But yeah. So yeah. And then this was the M-gram samples. And basically what I did was I wet it in each of the main colors. And then while it was wet, I went down the page making blocks to see how it fades out. I was surprised at how vibrant this orange was, but how fast that orange ran out, exhausted itself before, that you can barely see it right here. And the M-grams were very smooth, very nice paint. I loved it. Can't afford it, but I loved it. So, and then I did this girl. My eyelashes suck, but hey. She was done with the oil pastel, water soluble oil pastels. And the lines is just from where I had just taken when I was working on this, and I just taken and wiped the brush off on that page, and then I drew her over the top of it. So, and then this is my first attempt at doing the mountain thing with the watercolors, but it'll look better on actual watercolor paper, because this paper, like I said, it sits on top of it. It doesn't absorb into the paper, so you don't get those those varying shades that you would expect to see. And then this was the Mission Gold boxes insert. And then these are these Artisan pens that I got, and I'm pretty sure they were run with water on them. Artisan, a lot of Artisan's products unfortunately have been water soluble, even though they are sold as permanent. See, yeah, they run. And so then this is with only with using those oil pastel, water soluble oil pastels, and you can re-wet these and move them some more. But it was fun pushing this paint, this oil pastels around. I had a lot of fun pushing it around on the paper. I guess it was the texture, the thickness of it. Just, you know, pushing this around was like, it was just fun. And it was like the thickness of the medium. I wanted to get in there with my fingers, but I'm one of those people that don't like, just like the paint is driving me nuts from the acrylic paint. I don't like, if I'm mixing dough and stuff like that, that's a different thing. But for painting and stuff, I haven't gotten into it yet to the point where I want to get it all over my hands. And so then this was this page from the color pencils. Let me see. The color pencil paper. I'll put that in between there. Okay. So these were me swatching the old Prismacolors just to see what it looked like. Now you look at how dark these are compared. This is the Artist Loft. That's their ocean blue. It was like I found 3 of those pencils inside with those. Like I said, she got this off of eBay, I think, and they had like a bunch of, just threw a bunch of different pencils in that tin. So this was the Artist Loft ocean blue, and that is close to it right here. But you look at the amount, just that little scribble, and I didn't even press down that hard of the amount of color you get off of the Prismacolors versus some of these cheaper pens. Like this is their light brown, and that would be probably a light brown, and this was like a clay yellow, which is like a yellow ochre. And so this, I don't know which one of those, I think I did that one twice because there was 2 pens the same one. So that was more like a yellow ochre. So these were also in there. These were Fantasia color pencils, and they run, as you can see from the test I did on them, the color runs on those as well. Because I was thinking about, because I like the way they felt going down on the paper, and I was thinking about getting some, but then when I did the water test, I was like, no. And so then I did this eye, trying to practice a tutorial that showed how they were doing the eyelashes and the eyelash fill again. So then I decided to swatch out the Prismacolors in those tins that my daughter had, and because I wanted to see which colors was missing from each set. So I had all the colors for the 24, the box of 24. All their colors were there. But I was looking at this color set, and I was like, this is just some odd colors for, yeah, it's odd to me. So then I was doing a box of 72, and so this is the one that has a bunch of stuff that's missing. The PC 914 is gone, PC 925, 948, 47, 44, 43, 39, 97, 997, 994, 1060, 1023, 1069. So those are the ones I'm gonna go on Dick Blick, or I'm gonna go over to Jerry's and see if they have the loose pencils, and if they do, then I can just take my list. I made my little list wherever my list is. Here it is, and the list has the missing pencils. I want to get 3 extra white, 3 extra black, because the whites and the blacks, like, they're like this. The black is like this big in one of the sets. So I want to get some extra whites and blacks. And then these are the pencils. Some of the pencils are pencils that are short, like this less than half a pencil, so I'm just gonna go ahead and replace those. And yeah, so this is my list of Prismacolor pencils, so I can complete this set and then have some. And I like the way this Prismacolor looks on this stone paper. Oh, but this was the only stone paper book that I had left that's unlined. I have some that's lined. And so then I was playing around with the watercolors, the golden matte medium, and the Liquitex last night. Let me, so you guys can see this better. Okay. And I didn't start with a sketch. The only thing I sketched in was the eyes. Everything else I just used the watercolor. Put the watercolor down first for the shape of the face. Then I started going over it in layers. So like when this dried, I went down here, and I also used the oil pastels. And so I'm happy with how that turned out. Color pencil, oil pastels, watercolor, and matte medium and Liquitex. So this white here, and I also use titanium white in the box. I forgot to show you guys the box of acrylics that my daughter gave me. Well, I asked if she had any, because I didn't want to go and buy a bunch of acrylics, right? So she doesn't use them. She's a watercolorist, and she's getting into alcohol markers for watercolors type work. And so she had this box of acrylics, and it's just so I don't have to buy acrylics craft paint. I can just use up her basics and stuff to play around with for my mixed media. I don't have to go and buy a bunch of paint. Now I know I gotta remember to squish these to mix the binders back up, because I don't know how long they've been sitting in this box. I'm pretty sure that some of them, the binders are starting to separate on them. So yeah, you can like hear it. So yeah, now, this is the one, the Artist Loft one. This is the one I used last night, and I forgot to squish it first to make sure the binder was mixed in good. And so that's why, yeah, it was a little watery. But yeah, thank you, Pudding. My daughter's name is Yvonne Magdalene Marie. I call her Pudding because when I was pregnant with her, I craved those chocolate pudding from Hunt's, the Hunt's chocolate pudding, the fudge ones. And my dad, he said, that baby gonna come out just as dark as them chocolate puddings you eating all the time. And I told him, I said, if that happened, it'll be a miracle. with my genetics and with her dad's genetics, that would be a long shot. And but they started calling my baby bump Pudding because of me eating the chocolate puddings. And so when she was born, it just stuck. Everybody just still calls her Pudding, and she's our Pudding. And she was like, Mother, don't say it in public. Mother, Mother. So we would say it on purpose in public. But I really had fun drawing this. The model was my friend Barbara. And it doesn't, because her head was kind of tilted to the side, and I tried to straighten her head up. Some of the elements of her is there, but my daughter was like, who's that old lady? I was like, don't call my friend old. I said, don't call my friend old. But I had a lot of fun working on this and learning with this. And so I think Barb is like my inspiration for drawing lately. I don't know what it is about her face. But I also did try to do a sketch of her in this book when I started drawing more again. It's in here somewhere. Try to give a hug. There it is. So yeah, her face is just so interesting to me. I don't know. I don't get it, but yeah. So Barb is my person, I guess, that I'm going to be doing a lot of studies on until I get it right. So that is everything. I kept you guys here for an hour. I'm so not sorry. So that, I got to get a little case for these extra Prismacolors. Because I don't want to give them to B, because they are nicer than most of the pencils I have, and they don't run, and I like using them with the watercolors. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I had a lot of fun showing you everything I've been working on. I'm sorry it took an hour. I didn't think it would take that long to do that flip through. I could have sped up. Just speed up the video if you want to. Just speed it up to 2 times, and that way it won't take as long to watch. Y'all take care.